The idea of the intensive is a simple one. We meet at a agreed upon time and place, and we sit together for 8 to 10 hours in a series of meditations. And in that time, we immerse ourselves in this very profound reality. Immersing all four bodies, conducting the wordless truth about an idea that is basically impossible to speak of. In a few minutes, we're going to start our first meditation. The basic points of a meditation like this are the organization of one's mind, body, and spirit. When you sit in a relaxed way, body and spine stacked with gravity. Sit with the back straight, spine straight, not military straight, but as if you were stacking spools one on top of the other. And it's best to use the bellows breathing, which is called such because you treat the body like a bellows. The breath is controlled by the diaphragm, and it's just like a bellows when you want to charge a bellows. Fill it with air, you pull it apart, it draws the air in. Same thing when you want to breathe in and fill your body with air. And it's good just to kind of think of yourself as kind of an empty bag that air is going in and out of. You expand the diaphragm. You wait a beat, and when you want to discharge a bellows, you compress it. When you're ready to breathe out, you press the diaphragm in. It's very mechanical. It's the best way to breathe in meditation. It's best the way to breathe in all cases. One quick demonstration, I would like everyone to place their hand on their diaphragm and breathe in, pushing the diaphragm out. Your hand should go out an easy half inch. Everyone breathe in. Wait a beat. Now press the air out. It's very powerful because this kind of breathing aligns with the life force. The electricity of the life force enters the body at the crown of the head. At this point, just above the heart, it causes the breath to rise and fall simultaneously. At the diaphragm, produces a very powerful circular energy. And at the seat, just above the second chakra, you have a splitting energy of expanding and contracting. The prana is the first face of the kundalini. And this kind of breathing stimulates the kundalini very intensely. The kundalini rests in its most essential forms in the form of the coiled serpent at the base of the spine and at the form of a deep lake at the crown of the head. So with each movement of the breath, the kundalini is being stimulated and rising from the coiled serpent at the base of the spine and descending from the deep lake at the crown of the head. One other point I want people to be aware of throughout the day, the bellows breath is the anchor of your meditation. It engages the kundalini, activates and draws together all four bodies. The sound of the breath moving up and down is the generation of the spontaneously derived mantra of a human being. Oftentimes people like to use mantras as a key to their meditation. And the quality and sound of the bellows breath is the essence of the mantra that generates the human being, which is called the Soham Mantra. It is the sound of the breath moving in the Sushumna, activating both the left and right channel and merging into the central nerve. As it does so, all of the syllables suspended along the chakras of the Sushumna will vibrate on that sound. produces the appearance of the Soham. The So syllable is the syllable that is aligned with the appearance of the creation, the appearance of the formation of the universe. The Hum syllable is the syllable that arises as the ocean of consciousness. So with each cycling of the breath, we are spontaneously co-mingling the reality, the vibrational reality of the creation of the appearance and the formless ocean of consciousness. What's interesting is that people do this unconsciously, breathe 21,000 times a day, yet unaware of this commingling of the reality of form and emptiness, the appearance of the world and the ocean of consciousness. But when it is done consciously, the very component of awareness acts as an amplifier upon the impact of the person's consciousness. And thus the mind and the mirror of the mind is revealed in the movement of the So and the movement of the Hum. The last point to understand about the spontaneous arising of the Soham is that it has three dynamics. It has the reflect of the So on the in-breath and the Hum on the out-breath. And when the So moves, the mind moves. Thus we are breathing in, we are breathing in, we are breathing in. It is So. We are breathing out, we are breathing out, we are breathing out. Hum. But there is a point when we are breathing in, we are breathing in, breathing in. There is a point when we are no longer breathing in, but we are not yet breathing out. There's a still point there. The movement of the breath, the movement of the prana, the movement of the mantra illuminates the creation. We are breathing out, we are breathing out. The movement of the breath, the movement of the prana, the movement of the mantra illuminates the ocean of consciousness. But there's a space between the two while you're neither breathing in nor breathing out that is completely empty, like void of quality. In meditation, this is a doorway into the deeper self, into the deeper self. It's difficult in moving in the left or right channel or when the mind is in motion, but when the mind is at complete stillness, where the mind is neither rising or falling, with just the intention of connecting to the underlying formless ocean of consciousness, one can arise there. Such as it is, by pressing your attention into that place, you will glide into a very deep form of meditation. The mind will stop. And when the mind stops, the motion of mind is a reality. The stopped stillness of mind is another reality. It's the same mind in different condition. Very dramatic comparison, especially when we take this idea of the mirror of the mind. It's like the old Zen saying, you can never step on the same piece of earth twice. Why? Because the earth is always changing. Such is the mind. The same Zen master would probably say, is it the earth that changes or the mind? What's also very important to understand about this idea of cycling the breath is because each time you cycle, you're cycling the body, you're cycling the life force, you're cycling the mind. When you're inside a compressed program like this, a compressed meditation, the connection between what we would call heaven and earth is very deep, very profound, and is reflected both simultaneously in the external expression of the universe, which is a magical composite that we call the mandala. That's the instrument that focuses the energies of grace in this place, in this time. And there's the mandala that exists externally in the space and time of this room, but there's also a dynamic of the mandala that exists internally in each participant. You'll find, because of the speed and compression of the sessions, that this dynamic of the deep cycling of the bellows breath, that the movement of the Soham, the mind and body matrix will be able to more effectively stay in the stream. Taking intensive is much like surfing. You're catching a very large wave of energy. And the quality and skill of timing your induction into the wave, placing yourself in that spot, is a part of the intensive process. Mysticism is not a theoretical thing. It's not maybe this or maybe that. It's one of direct experience. And just like surfing, you have to commit your entire heart, mind, and being to the moment. And that way everything happens beautifully. The fruition of the speech of the intensive is one that is called Shaktipat. It is the seed of awakening. It is the wave of awakening. As in all things, awakening arises through contact, by connection, by touch, contact with mind, heart, being, and the subtle presence of the perfection of wisdom by touch changes the potential condition of each being in the intensive into one of awakening. The enlightenment is already present within you. The Shaktipat sets it in motion, removes the veils. This spontaneously born enlightenment is a profound idea that is the seed essence of the Shaktipat. Why it works. I want to put one other idea in your mind stream before we start our first meditation, and that is the one of bodhicitta. This is the term of what I'm talking about, of spontaneously arising enlightenment. That the seed of the bodhicitta has its anchor here in the heart region. It is in this place in the heart where all four bodies intersect. The physical body, the subtle physical body, the causal body, and the supracausal body all meet in this place. Even more specifically, you could say that if you touch the base of the sternum, back and down, just maybe the width of your finger, there's a place within your being where all four bodies intersect. You can feel it when you touch it. It's also important to understand that the bodhicitta is also called the heart-mind. They call it the heart-mind because there's a natural connection between the structure, in the spiritual structure of a human being, that intersects the region of the heart and the brain. The bodhicitta is said to have its anchor in the heart. It's as if it were the base of the flower, where all four bodies are interconnected. But at the very crown of the head, at the Brahmarandra, the point that is the soft spot in the skull when you're born, that is the stamen of the flower, the essence of the flower, arises here at the crown of the head. You should understand that there are not two places, in the same way that the base roots of the flower, the bloom of the flower, and the stamen are not two flowers. They're one thing. This is all one thing. The crown of the head, down through the brain, through the throat, into the anchor of the heart. In this kind of meditation, it's very useful to have that basic print, mental picture to understand. It will make the meditation unfold with greater force and comfort. We're going to begin the meditation now. We're going to be meditating 3 to 4 times, after which we will have a short break. People can stand and stretch, have some refreshment. Then we'll come back and do it again. It has a rhythm and tempo that carries your consciousness deep into the essence of your nature. You'll also find connection between the form and formless. Also has a very strong analog with the bodhicitta. The anchor of the bodhicitta being at the seat of the heart and the connection of the 4 bodies. And at the crown of the head that leads up into the space over the crown of the head, wherein the subtle nerve of the sushumna extends up into the space over the crown of the head, and the formless aspects of consciousness and energy originate in this place, and it has a quality of descent down into the mind and body being. So the dynamic of the intensive is much like having electricity or an elixir poured into you. Your job as the participant in the intensive is to receive the light and hold it in the system. All right, everyone, please prepare your seat. Begin the cycling of the bellows breath. Begin listening to the resonance of the Soham. Give rise to the bodhicitta. We will begin.